from Thailand. We made it to Bangkok yesterday with like no sleep. It was a crazy adventure, as coming to Bangkok should be. We left the Gili Islands, which we jumped on a boat back to the city and then right to the airport. 1 a.m. flight, try and sleep on this packed plane to Thailand at 1 o'clock in the morning, which didn't really work out. And then, you arrive in Thailand with no sleep and you're chucked into Bangkok, which is just crazy busy, filled with people at like 7:30 in the morning. But, Bangkok lived up to its name, and it's a crazy place to be. So I'm happy to be here. This is why my surroundings have changed for those that you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, it's a cool thing to be traveling. We didn't really come on vacation. We came to learn about people, places, and things, to be honest with you. More so culture, religions, how the mind works in other parts of the world. For me, that's what I'm here to do. Because if I can understand the mind, then I can understand how people are thinking. And then I can figure out an association where we need to go to this place of love. Because I know the destination, I know where we're going. Everything I talk about is for you to evolve into love. And for mankind, for humanity to evolve into a love. That's what I do. That's why I do this. That's my purpose. I'm real about it. I'm very real. This is what I'm going to do. Some people have goals. That's my goal, is to help humanity evolve into beings of love, because that's where we come from and that's what we are. And fear is a learned behavior, something that we've been taught by people who were afraid, who have gone through life and became fearful of things, so they embedded that into us. We're not really taught how to talk or process about feelings, so that's what this whole channel is about, to encourage action into the process of emotions so you can evolve into love, because that's what it is. Once you overcome the things that hold you back, you're free. I can't even tell you, I use this analogy about taking a backpack of rocks off, and that backpack filled with rocks is all of the negative, dense energy that we carry around within ourselves. And I say dense because it is, energy that is negative or is traumatic holds us down and holds us back. It kind of keeps us in one place. We seem to be moving through life, but we're not really going anywhere within ourselves. The external application of life, sure, can take us from point A to point B, absolutely. But where do you want to travel? Because the journey that matters, the journey that can take you anywhere, is the one that starts inside. And man, think about that. The journey inward. The journey of self-discovery, getting to know who you are on your own terms. A lot of people get afraid when they even begin to think about something like that. That's why we distract. That's why a lot of people have trained themselves to pick up the cell phone and distract with apps, social media, anything from having them to think about the journey inward. Because where do you begin? Where do you even begin on the journey inward? I say question things. Ask yourself how you have arrived in the place that you are currently in. Because the present moment is all that matters, right? Never mind the past and don't think about the future. Just look at where you are right now. And ask yourself how you feel about that. And there's no right or wrong answer to that. That's the beautiful thing about it. You just ask yourself how you are feeling, because now you've given yourself somewhere to go. You can now affect the present moment however you choose. If there's something that you feel on the inside that you would like to be better at, then you can put work into that to achieve that. Just with baby steps, just ask yourself how you feel. It doesn't have to be a barrage of depression, anxiety, fear, stress. Just start with one thing. Try and calm the mind and ask yourself questions about where you are currently in your life and who you want to be. Because who you want to be can change everything. And I talk about that because I know about that. I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't for many, many, many years. And I wasn't pretending for anyone else. I was pretending to myself. And that was the person that I hurt the most. Many other people along my journey were caught up in that as well. But me, lying to myself and pretending to be somebody I wasn't, It was my character that got hurt the most. I couldn't authentically love other people, and I couldn't care for other people, and I couldn't really be who I was to other people because I wasn't being myself to me. And that's okay. You know, life is a series of lessons and experiences, but understanding that we can be anybody else in the present moment is a very useful tool. It's very powerful. It means that you're going to take back your power, that for no one are you going to give your power away and be somebody you're not. I tell a lot of people my story, even out here in Thailand, which is cool. The universe has placed some individuals along my path. Yeah, they needed some real talk, you know, just about love and life and where everything matters, a reminder of where everything matters, because they were really confused in their mind and they weren't listening to their heart. And I explained to them my story because I don't hide from my story, you know. Your story is a part of who you are. It makes you the person that you are. You will come to embrace it as the greatest asset in life. You know, it's just, that's your lesson for this life, overcoming and learning your karmic lesson. I believe for all of us, it's pretending, you know, pretending to be people we're not. Once you overcome that fear of not being who you are and actually being who you are, everything changes. All the fear, all the anxiety, all the stress goes away. And I explained to these individuals about my journey with addiction and homelessness and, you know, short stays in jail and whatnot. And they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe, like 2.5 years ago, I was homeless and literally overcoming like a 23-year heroin addiction, drug addiction, I should say, because it was everything. And last night I was even reflecting on that. I was thinking about the place that I am in currently in my present moment and the place I was 2.5 years ago and the choices I could have made. I had $1,000 cash that was given to me when I was in jail. It certainly was giving me a choice to make in life. I could very easily have gone back to the path that I knew so very well with $1,000 cash in my pocket, fresh out of jail, or I could get out and I could have a clear mind and do something different. And I did that. I did do that. I made that choice to get on a bus and to go have a conversation with my mother, who I hadn't talked to in quite some time and I hadn't seen in even longer. And I made the decision to do that with that money rather than go back into the life of drugs. And I share that with you because that's the power of choice. Like, that's the power of believing in something, and that's the power of love. I made a choice in jail to believe in myself and to love myself, and I didn't even know what that meant because I'd never done it before, because all I ever did was pretend to be somebody I wasn't. But in jail, I made that decision and I stuck to it. And I just took action to grow into this human being that I wanted to be. And I didn't even know who that was. All I knew I was going to practice being somebody different, because we all know what love is, this idea of love. But understanding love is a very different thing, because you get to understand it on your own terms. And that's a very different thing from an idea of love. So I was very grateful that I decided to go on that journey inward and get to know who I was, because, you know, here I am today. And I'm doing these wonderful things, and I get to talk about these wonderful things, and I get to be an example for others, because I know how many don't make it out of the situation I was in. I was living with a lack of love for myself, and I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't for over half my life. So I know all about bad psychological behaviors, and I know all about patterns that are difficult to get out of. But believing in yourself, trusting in something more than you, connection to something bigger, love, these are places to begin. And when you're ready to go on that journey inward, you know, starting with those baby steps, if I can give you any advice, address pieces of it. For me, I addressed the whole thing all at once because it brought me to a place where I'd lost myself. You know, I was in jail. They took my freedom away. So I kind of had a wonderful opportunity to take a look at my life in my present moment. And at that time in my present moment, I'd lost my family. I'd lost my children. You know, I'd lost money, a car, everything, all the materialism, which was a wonderful thing. Took it all away from me, because now I was just left with myself, which I'd lost. So now I was left with this new human being that I chose to be. I tell people I've died in this life. I have. I know what death is. It's a beautiful aspect of life. It doesn't have to mean that the physical body goes away. It's the death of one egotistical part of you. Now, ego doesn't go away. It's a part of you. It has a function, for sure. But the ego that was inside of me died because I embraced love and I built a new relationship with ego, which I continue to practice today. But it's very much something that is real. And it can happen for you too if you choose to make a different choice in your life to be somebody different. I know what it's like to face things from your past. I know what it's like to look at things that you said or that you did that hurt other people. I know how hard it is to overcome guilt and shame and jealousy. But I can tell you, on the other side of those emotions is a beautiful thing. It's an understanding of a lesson that you learned along that journey. Because that's what life is. Life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. Everything that is happening is there to teach you something. Now, whether or not you're willing to learn from it, to grow past that, that's up to you. If you want to stay stuck inside of an emotional trauma, an emotional repetitive cycle, that's on you. That's not on anyone else. Now, is it difficult to get out of those things? It's as difficult as you make it. And for some of us, we make it very difficult. I know in my life, I made it very, very difficult for quite some time. But then I looked at it from another point of view. And I thought, you know what? That doesn't serve me any purpose to stay stuck and beat myself up all the time. Pretend to be somebody I'm not, try and do things to distract. My outlet was drugs. Many other people, it's shopping. It's social media. It's video games. It's porn. It's food. These are very real distractions in life. That's what they are. They're not addictions. They're distractions. People have something going on emotionally that they don't want to address, so they've taught themselves bad behaviors, ways to distract from feeling and processing these emotions or these experiences that we've had in our life so we can learn from them, so we can move forward and be the human being that we want to be. Because you don't have to pretend for nobody. I mean, we're out here in Indonesia and Thailand, man, they rip off every Western brand we have. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But more so, the amount of people that were lined up to get these Louis Vuitton bags, or I've even heard some of them bragging about buying a fake bag. It's like, but what are you trying to represent to the world? What are you trying to display when you're wearing that bag? Are you trying to display that you bought a $2,000 bag and that you mean something through that materialistic value? Because that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us try to find value in materialism because we don't know the value within ourselves. And that's a very interesting place to be, because everything that matters, the most priceless aspect you can share with the world, is inside. We've just been tricked into thinking that you'll be popular or accepted by buying brands that mean nothing. The only thing that gives them value is human beings. And let's be real, nobody's got money for a $4,000 bag. And why the heck would you want to? I mean, if you're buying a $4,000 bag, hit me up. Because I can tell you where you could put some money and you could feed some children. We could put some kids through school in Mexico. I work with organizations all over the world. And you can do some really great things that'll make you feel amazing, because you can see where the money goes and how it helps other people. Like, that's what money is here for. It's a tool for spiritual unfoldment. That's all it is. And giving it away is the most beautiful thing you can possibly do. We're over here and we're trying to buy rice in poor areas and take it to the people. I'm a human being, a part of the human race, man. I'm in Thailand, Indonesia, or wherever we go. We're with family. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what size you are, what religion you practice. None of that matters. At the end of the day, we're human beings, a part of the human race. That's why what I talk about is for everybody. Because everybody's looking for love for themselves so they can share it with other people. That's what makes us the same. Fear, anxiety, and stress, addictions, living with a lack of love, these kind of things are for human beings around the world, because we're all the same. We've just been tricked into thinking that money makes us better than each other, and it doesn't. Or that religion separates and divides us, and it doesn't. Because spirituality is just love. And anyone who's on an avenue or on a journey to love, your whole family is looking to evolve into the same place. And it doesn't discriminate by gods, because the God is within you. And that's a very real thing. You don't have to look to an outside source to fix something internally. It doesn't even make sense. People praying constantly for something to happen to an external source when all they got to do is take action and believe in themselves to make it happen. And you can do that with an acceptance and an understanding of love, because that's what spirituality is. And I do this every single day. I put trust into the universe, this consciousness of love that is living and breathing, and it can make moves in the physical world. It's a very beautiful thing. We'll go deeper into that as this podcast goes on, because a lot of people are looking to understand this, and I'm going to help you understand it, because everything I've done, I've had to do on my own. I never had a teacher. I never had a mentor. I just lived through life. All the experiences, everything I've learned, I've taken in information, and I've chosen to go down avenues and dissect things for myself. I have a very logical mind, and my intuition is just incredible. I trust myself a lot. And I also trust the universe in showing me where I should be cautious to take in information from individuals, or whether I should continue on the journey. You know what I mean? So I want to share that with you guys about spirituality, because it's a beautiful thing. But first, before we even get there, to these higher concepts of life, spiritual realms and things like this, you've got to do the work on the inside, because then you'll understand love on your own terms. And no one can do that for you. You have to do it on your own. And that's what makes it so beautiful, is that you put the work in, you did it yourself. You understand love on your terms. That's what makes it beautiful. Your darkness is your beauty. That's how you get through the light, is walking through the darkness. And the darkness isn't in the external world, it's inside. You can teach yourself new things. Is it difficult? As difficult as you make it. That's a big thing where we get lost up in our mind. Not accepting the things that we can't control, or the things that we can't change. It's like, why do we give so much energy to those things? It's because we've been taught to do that. It's just a learned behavior. There's no sense in beating yourself up for it. It's just being able to observe life. Just observing thought process. Being able to take a step back and do that. Not getting so lost in the thoughts, and more so just the observation of the thoughts. And I know that we can do this. And when I say we, I mean human beings, a part of the human race. We are going to evolve from this time. Right now, we are in the end of something. We're in the age of Aquarius, which means the age of conscious thought. But what that also means is that we're in the beginning of a new stage of life. And that life is love. And we don't need to look to anyone else to change anything in the world. All we got to do is look to how we can change how we view the world. And then the world changes. And how do you change how you view the world? You do some work on the inside. Most of the things that are holding you back in life have already happened, so you can't change it. And what function does it serve to be caught inside of the emotion of things that have already happened? It's just holding you back in time. There's no point. It's not moving you forward. You're missing the present moment. And you're so concerned about the future because you're constantly living in the past. That's an observation. It's a beautiful observation to have, and it's a reality, right? I mean, I went through this stuff in my life as well. And when I was able to observe those patterns of life, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Today I'm going to be somebody different. I'm going to let the past go, because it didn't serve me any purpose. It didn't. The only purpose it served me was to teach me a bunch of beautiful lessons about life, which I looked at each experience and I was able to pull the lesson from it. And go, okay, I'm going to be better. Does that mean I figured life out after that? No. Life is a series of difficult experiences or wonderful experiences. Each come with a lesson. But what I found is that the difficult ones teach you something that stays with you. Because when anything's easy, you just get it. It's just something you sort of understand. And it's like, okay, let's go on to the next thing. We're looking for the difficult ones because the difficult ones are what teach us the most valuable lessons. Things that stay with us for quite some time. So don't shy away from those. If they come up with along your journey and you go, man, this is hard. This one's really difficult to get past. Observe it. Because that lesson within whatever is happening or happened is going to teach you something beautiful. It's just, you become a student of life. And things no longer happen to you, they happen for you. And that's a beautiful perspective to adopt into your mentality. Because it changes the way everything is. There's no longer a reason to get caught up inside of emotions. Sleep is very important in life. If you don't get enough sleep, it causes you to become reactive. It causes you to become emotional because you're not able to be clear in the mind. You're tired. And when you're tired, you're reactive. So that's a really wonderful piece of information. Please get enough sleep. put the cell phone down at night and shut the movies off because they don't do anything for you. It's not a way to unwind. Just being alone with yourself is a wonderful thing, and teaching yourself, some mindfulness is a wonderful practice of life to help you get more sleep. And how do you understand emotions? You understand at the lesson that's being presented to you to choose whether or not you want to react to it emotionally or consciously. And that's a beautiful piece of education to have in life. It really is. Like, even saying that, it's like, that's a beautiful way to put it, because that's exactly what it is. Life, that concept, is such a wonderful thing when you're able to view it from that manner. It's mindfulness. And I've practiced this a lot. And how do I practice mindfulness? I'm going to practice love. And what does the practice of love look like to me? We're constantly living in the moment. Like, I don't live outside of it. I strictly live in the moment. And that's why everything we do is fun, So that's a beautiful thing, because I was very patient for love. And that helped me along my way. I didn't rush into relationships anymore. I'd done that twice in my life, and it caused a lot of heartache for a lot of people. And especially the girls. I mean, I put them through just a really difficult time, a really difficult life, because I had made decisions about love that would affect everyone without knowing what love was within myself first. And I have 3 beautiful children that are products of those choices that I made. Now I'm getting closer to those beautiful children coming back into my life, which I'm very excited about. But certainly their journey has been affected by my inability to love myself first and make decisions to try and get someone else to teach me about love. And that's a beautiful thing I want to share with you, because take a look at where you're at and love yourself and give that the attention that it deserves, because that's how you authentically love someone else, is by understanding love within yourself. And that is not selfish. You've got to do that. You've got to take that time to do that. Please understand that. Whether you have children, whether you're within a relationship, it doesn't matter. The people that love you will respect you going on an inward journey and taking personal time for yourself to process emotions. And more so, you're becoming a teacher, because you're leading by example. You're showing another individual that it's okay to do that, because you're growing into love. You're growing into what it means to love yourself. And that is priceless education. Never mind going to school. Never mind sending them upstairs to watch TikTok or YouTube that doesn't help them grow into anything. It just pulls them further away to being somebody they're not. Teach them what it means to be something real. And if you're going to do that within your own home, because the choices you've made in life have led you to these opportunities to show other people that you can do this too, please do that. I didn't get that opportunity. I had to show myself. I am showing other people that you can do it, but I would have loved to have been able to do that with my children. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get my chance. My opportunity is about to come, which is a beautiful thing. So please, I encourage you to embrace that. Embrace that side of life. If you are living in a home with family members, communicate, man. Speak your truth. Tell people how you feel. Stop the cycle. Be the change you want to see in the world. Teach people beautiful things. It's education. This is an incredible place to be in life. It's a community. You're not here with me, but right now in my heart, I feel every single one of you. And it's such a beautiful feeling, because it's love. It's shared love. It's shared knowledge. It's shared experience. And I really appreciate everybody who listens to this. And I thank you. And I really hope you appreciate yourself. I believe you will appreciate yourself more and more as we get through more conversations and you practice more action within your life. I know you're going to get there. Never stop believing in yourself, and never stop believing in the power of love. It's a beautiful thing. And connect to nature, connect to something more. Speak to the plants, speak to the trees, appreciate the water, appreciate the air, appreciate the sun, appreciate the moon. The earth is the surface that gives us the structure that we're able to have a foundation to live this beautiful experience on. Appreciate that. Be grateful for where you are in your life, no matter where you are in your life. I was grateful in jail. I was grateful for where I was in jail. I was upset with myself for getting there, but I was grateful to be there. because it was the present moment at that time, and it brought me to this present moment at this present time. And it's a beautiful thing to just appreciate wherever you are in life, because you can be whoever you want. We're going to talk about love next week. I'm just going to leave it like that. And we're going to start talking more about the environment, because I'm traveling. And the environment is very, very important to me. Because, man, the world can't take much more of this shit. It just can't. It can't take much more of this. I'm looking around, man. I'm seeing plastic like we have no idea what plastic is like they do over here. Like in the West, we've got a plastic problem. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, we're talking about 250 million people that live in Indonesia, made up of 17,000 islands. Plastic is their best friend. They're surrounded by water. Where does the plastic go? I asked them that. They said we either burn it or it gets buried. And it's what they use because it's convenient and it's cheap. So we're going to have conversations about this because, again, just like you can change the way you perceive the world, you can view the world through the eyes of fear, anxiety, and stress, or you can view the world through the eyes of love. It changes your perception of the reality of what is. We can do the same thing with garbage. So everyone has a choice to help change the world as we currently see it. And I need you to do that with me with the environment, please, because it's very important to all of us. It's our home, and I don't want to go live in Mars. I don't want anyone to go live in Mars, and I want the children of the future to have a beautiful, wonderful place to live and be able to go down to rivers and get fish and be able to have clean drinking water. Like, we need to have conversations about this, and we're gonna. But I love having conversations about being somebody that we want to be, because that's everything. My social media is Real Talk for an Unreal World. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube. My Twitter is Real Talk, the number 4, Unreal. And my email, realtalkforanunrealworld@gmail.com. Please message me, contact me with anything you got going on in your life that you want to share, or any perspective that you need offered in a certain experience or a situation. I tell you these things so you can reach out to me and we can have conversations, or I can offer perspective for you to see something in a different way, because that's the best education, is when we can see something a different way. We can learn from it from another angle. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.